Have you ever stopped to think about what it really means to be good at life? Often we find ourselves lost trying to find answers in the wrong places. But what if I told you there's an ancient book full of practical wisdom to teach us? Today we're going to explore what the book of Proverbs from the Bible reveals about being good at life, not just in the eyes of people, but also in the eyes of God. Ready? Let's dive in. Proverbs is one of the most straightforward and practical books in the Bible. It was mainly written by Solomon, the wisest king who ever lived. And the goal of this book is simple: to teach us how to live wisely with intelligence and, of course, goodness. Being good at life goes way beyond just being nice to others. It's about making good decisions, avoiding trouble, and living in a way that honors God. Do you want to learn how to make decisions that will transform your life? Stick with me until the end and I'll show you how to apply the wisdom of Proverbs in your daily life. Point 1. Wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. Proverbs 1:7 gives us one of the greatest keys to wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. What does this mean? It means that the first step to being good at life is recognizing that God is in control of everything. When we respect and put God first, our decisions start making more sense. It's like we're picking up the right manual for living. Why is this important? Because without this foundation, we risk living any way we want based on our own desires, which can deceive us. But when we follow God's wisdom, we avoid many problems. The fear of the Lord protects us from living recklessly. It makes us think before acting, consider the consequences, and seek what is good and just. By acknowledging God's sovereignty and respecting Him, we open our hearts to receive His guidance. And with that, we begin to walk a path of wisdom that leads us to a full and abundant life. This is the first big step to truly being good at life. Point 2. The importance of seeking wisdom. Daily Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And in all your getting, get understanding." This passage highlights that seeking wisdom is not optional for those who want to be good at life. It's a necessity. Being wise is like being prepared to face life's challenges the right way, and above all, in a way that pleases God. And this wisdom needs to be pursued constantly. The wisdom Solomon teaches us to seek isn't passive. It's not something that just happens. It's an active pursuit, a conscious effort. And this pursuit isn't limited to theoretical learning, but involves applying what we learn. Being good at life is about making decisions that bear good fruit, and that requires wisdom. And where do we find this wisdom? In the scriptures, in prayer, and in fellowship with people who also seek God. Seeking wisdom daily is like tending to a plant. It needs care, time, and patience. Just as a tree takes time to bear fruit, our lives transform little by little as we apply God's wisdom. The more we learn and apply God's principles, the more skilled we become at living. So never stop seeking wisdom, because it guides us toward a life of blessings and protection. Point 3. Diligence brings rewards. Proverbs 10:4 teaches us, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." The word diligent here means someone who is dedicated, focused, and who works with zeal in everything they do. In other words, being diligent is the opposite of being lazy. When you put effort into your work, studies, or any task you undertake, you begin to reap the fruits of that dedication. Often we want quick and easy results, but the truth is, the best things in life take time and effort. When you commit to being diligent, whether in your work, relationships, or spiritual life, you start to see fruit. Solomon, the author of Proverbs, knew that life requires hard work, and God honors those who dedicate themselves to what they do, especially when the work is done for His glory. But laziness, on the other hand, steals the blessings we could receive. Laziness makes us miss opportunities, stunts our growth, and keeps us from reaching our goals. If we want to be good at life, we need to understand that success doesn't just fall from the sky. It's the result of hard work, discipline, and persistence. Point 4. The power of words. Proverbs 18:21 teaches us, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." This means that our words have a deep impact on our lives and the lives of those around us. Often, we speak without thinking and end up hurting those we love. Or we use our words to spread negativity, gossip, or destructive criticism. Proverbs reminds us to be careful with what we say, for our words can bring either blessing or curse. Words have the power to heal or harm. They can encourage someone who's feeling down or tear down someone who's already struggling. Jesus taught us to use our words wisely, to encourage, build up, and show love. When we control our tongue, we are controlling one of the most powerful aspects of our lives. This is also a sign of wisdom. The scriptures teach us that those who are quick to listen and slow to speak are considered wise. Proverbs challenges us to think before we speak. Are our words being used for good? Are we helping someone with what we say? Or are we causing more pain? The truth is, words can change the course of a life, for better or for worse. And that's why God instructs us to use them wisely. When we speak with kindness, sincerity, and love, we reflect God's character in our lives. Point 5. Avoid the company of fools. Proverbs 13:20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." This verse is a clear warning about the influence that people around us have on our lives. Being good at life also means choosing wisely who we walk with. If we are surrounded by people who seek wisdom and have lives aligned with God's principles, we are encouraged to do the same. On the other hand, walking with people who lack this commitment to goodness can lead us astray. The Bible is full of examples of people who were influenced by bad company and ended up making disastrous decisions. But at the same time, it teaches us that walking with the wise helps us grow, become stronger, and make better decisions. Proverbs is a reminder that we need to be intentional about who we allow into our lives. Friendships are a great blessing when chosen wisely. Avoiding the company of fools is not about being elitist, but about protecting our spiritual journey. God wants us to be surrounded by people who help us grow, challenge us to be better, and inspire us to live according to biblical principles. So, choose your friendships wisely. Who you allow to influence your life will largely determine the kind of person you become. Point 6. Learn to deal with anger. Proverbs 16:32 tells us, "Better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city." This verse teaches us that being good at life involves having self-control, especially in moments of anger or frustration. Controlling anger is a sign of wisdom and patience, and it keeps us from acting impulsively, which can lead to more problems than solutions. Many times we get angry when things don't go as planned, and our tendency is to explode or make hasty decisions. But Proverbs encourages us to be patient and control our impulses. This doesn't mean ignoring injustice or problems, but handling them wisely and calmly. When we exercise control over our emotions, we avoid unnecessary arguments and conflicts, bringing peace to our lives and relationships. Proverbs teaches us that patience and self-control are virtues that help us grow and truly be good at life. Instead of reacting with anger, we can seek calmer, more thoughtful solutions. This causes the people around us to respect us more and trust in our ability to make good decisions, even under pressure. Point 7. Generosity is a sign of wisdom. Proverbs 11:25 says, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." This verse highlights the importance of generosity as one of the qualities of a good and wise person. Generosity isn't just about giving money, but about being someone who is always willing to help, support, and lend a hand to others. Being generous is a practical way of demonstrating God's love. When we help others, we are reflecting the character of Christ. And Proverbs shows us that this generosity doesn't just bless those who receive, but also those who give. God promises that the generous person will prosper, whether materially, emotionally, or spiritually. Generosity is a reflection of someone who understands that everything we have comes from God and that we are merely stewards of His resources. When we are generous, God trusts us with even more because He knows we won't keep the blessings for ourselves. So, if we want to be good at life, we need to learn to give with an open heart, knowing that God takes care of everything. Point 8. Beware of pride. Proverbs 16:18 warns us, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." One of the greatest obstacles to being good at life is pride. It makes us think we're better than others, stops us from learning, and distances us from God. When we let pride take over, we start to ignore others' advice, think we know everything, and disregard God's wisdom. Proverbs reminds us that pride is a dangerous trap. It can lead to our downfall because pride blinds us. We can't see our own mistakes and end up falling into situations that could have been avoided. That's why God teaches us to be humble. Humility helps us learn from others, grow, and recognize our dependence on God. Being good at life means being humble enough to admit we don't know everything and that we need God's help and the help of others. When we let go of pride, we allow God to work in our lives and guide us toward true success. Point 9. Living with integrity. Proverbs 10:9 tells us, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out." Integrity is the foundation of a good life. Being a person of integrity means being honest, truthful, and just, even when no one is watching. It's living according to God's principles without being corrupted by the influences around us. People with integrity attract trust and respect. They have nothing to hide because their lives reflect what they believe. Proverbs teaches us that living with integrity brings security because we don't need to fear our mistakes coming to light. When we live justly and honestly, we reap the fruits of peace and prosperity. On the other hand, those who live dishonestly, deceiving others or following crooked paths, will eventually be found out. Integrity is a choice that brings long-term benefit. Anyone who wants to be good at life must live uprightly because this pleases God and builds a solid foundation for a life of blessings. Conclusion. Now that we've gone through these 9 points, we can see that being good at life, according to Proverbs, goes far beyond what the world teaches. It involves wisdom, humility, patience, generosity, self-control, and above all, fearing God. When we apply these principles in our daily lives, we become better people, wiser, and, of course, closer to God. So, which of these points do you need to apply more in your life? Share it here in the comments. If this content helped you, don't forget to like and share it with someone you think could also benefit from these lessons. See you in the next video, and may God bless your journey. God loves you.